Welcome to Financial Issues, where we help you steward faithfully by honoring God with your investments. Now listen in as we give you the practical tools and advice you need to become a biblically responsible investor.
This is Financial Issues, the Friday before Christmas, where we help you defund darkness and fund the light by investing with biblical integrity. Seth, Sam Case, and your host, Mark Manila. Mark, great to be here with you, brother.
Well, it's great to be here. And this is Focus Friday, which means we focus on what?
We focus on all of you, our listeners.
All of you,
right?
the questions
people
you
who
have.
make the show go.
That's right. Of course, we do that every day. But today we prioritize calls first, questions second, and the news and whatnot third, right?
Amen, brother. We're excited for it.
So are the phones open here?
The phones are open, Mark. They're wide open. In fact, they're as open as the southern border was during the Biden administration, which is about as open as you can possibly get. So call in 610-363-1110.
Let's seal the border.
Seal the border. Seal up those phone lines. Give us a call, folks. 610-363-1110. We want to hear from you on Focus Friday. Also, interesting, Mark, yesterday, one of our buy list holdings popped like crazy. Had a great day after its earnings call. And so we'll look at why that is.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll be excited for that. But Mark, before all that, you've been taking us through this great series on 7 strategies for a financially healthy new year, brother. What's up today?
Yeah, the whole goal is just to help everybody have more peace, more joy, more God's love in their heart by aligning their life, their financial life with God's ways for them. And to do so, we thought, hey, what are some of the projects that could be put together that individuals could do quite easily, really? It doesn't, you don't have to lift up hundreds and hundreds of pounds of stuff. It's just take a few actions for the beginning of the year to bring more of God into your life and you more into God's ways. And that's what we started. Well, we went through view debt as a holy caution, and that was number 1 because, as I've said over and over again, debt is the number 1 killer of wealth. Debt is the number 1 killer of joy and peace in your stewardship and in your wealth. So we wanted it to look at debt from a different perspective than the world does. That's not new, Looking at things different than the world does. The second was build a moat around your castle. You all know what that is now. Plan your taxes with wisdom, not guesswork. That's being awake, conscious to what's really going on with your paycheck and not letting money just go unused or be unproductive. And then the fourth one was give generously and joyfully, not just because of how it impacts others, but because of also how it impacts you. And today we're getting to review your estate plan, a legacy of love. And a lot of people say, hey, it's Christmas. We don't want to talk about, this is about birth, not about death. Yeah, maybe you're right. And maybe it sounds a little morbid, but it isn't, because it's all about love today. The impact of stewardship doesn't need to end when your life does. And you know what? This is so very important. I've seen it over and over again in my life with clients, with friends, with family. When somebody does not have their estate plan in order, what happens when somebody close to them passes, not only are they grieving, not only are they overwhelmed with the loss of a loved one, but then they have to deal with, almost immediately, they have to deal with an estate and get things in order, especially if they were put as the trustee, or if they're somewhere in the will that they're named that they have responsibilities, or if there is no will. That makes it even harder to put everything together. So if you really love those around you, this is something that you could put together as a gift to them to show that you love them when you move on to be with your Father in heaven. And is to have your estate plan in order. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Simple things like having a will, if you don't already, and having your durable powers of attorney, healthcare powers of attorney, all the different financial powers of attorney you need to make sure everything flows comfortably, and that those are left behind don't have to be living in a constant state of not only grieving, but confusion of how everything has to be transferred, retitled, redone. So we start this off by talking about one really easy thing you could do, and that's make sure your beneficiaries are correct. Your beneficiaries are correct, not only in your will, for all those things in your will that you're saying, oh, well, this guitar goes to my grandson, and this guitar goes to my son. Oh, wait, I have a lot of guitars. Never mind. But those things you're leaving people in physical form, but also the beneficiaries on your investment accounts. It takes just a moment to go out to your platform where your investment accounts are and go into your accounts and look up your beneficiaries. Make sure they are as you want them to be. If something happens to you and you pass on, you want that account to transfer outside of probate, which you can do with IRAs and qualified plans and things like that. You want it to go just seamlessly over, or as seamlessly as possible. And even on your joint accounts, you want the beneficiary's name properly. And then you could go even one step further and look at your wills and make sure that those beneficiaries are set up as you so desired as well, for those things that aren't in accounts that you can put beneficiaries on. You also can look at things like titles, and you can put up beneficiaries on them, paid on death or transferred on death. Anything that has a title, you can put that on, and that avoids going through probate court. So, like Seth and his collection of Jaguars from the mid 60s, the XKRs that he has, he's going to leave those to me. So I want to be on the title of those.
In my will, folks.
Yeah, exactly. No, I want it on the title.
Oh, sorry. You want it on the title. You want it to pass outside of probate. That way you can get into it as quickly as you can, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Take that baby for a spin.
So make sure the beneficiaries are correct. Really easy to do, and it's a blessing, and it's a gift. It's Christmas time, right? Get this gift right. Review your beneficiaries, and if you haven't set up your beneficiaries, please do. And just don't think about, well, if I pass, I want this to go to my wife. What happens if she passes 30 seconds before you do? You have to have a secondary, and if possible, a tertiary, a third beneficiary on those. Take the time to think it through so your loved ones don't have to suffer through it upon your death. That's what we're talking about here on beneficiaries, making sure your beneficiaries are correct. Also, make sure your will reflects your current wishes. Your will be done is what it comes out. If you don't have a will, there is a will out there that takes over your estate. It's called the will of the state, and they decide how everything gets distributed. They decide what goes where and how. It also opens it up for lawsuits and all sorts of things that could cause all sorts of heartbreaks for those you're leaving behind. Get a simple will put in place that covers these things. And it doesn't cost a fortune anymore. There's lots of different things. What is it? Trustandwills.com. I think for $100 to $200, you can have your durable powers attorney, healthcare powers attorney, and your will put together on there. And I've been told, I'm not an attorney, but I've been told by attorneys that these are good. They look good. So you might as well do that. If not, get an attorney. I like going to an attorney, somebody you find. If you know one that you trust, I would go there. It might cost you 5-10 times more than just going online, but they'll ask you a lot of questions you didn't think about, and it'll be contoured a lot more specific for you. And finally, and most people don't think about these things, power of attorney. Power of attorney is very important, not only for when you die. It's actually for if something happens to you before you die. What happens if you hit your head and you can't make decisions? I've told in the past the story of my uncle who had a heart attack, couldn't make decisions, and my dad was going to my uncle's house and paying all the bills, writing checks, doing everything, and doing things that probably, made it very difficult for his wife, who was blind and couldn't do these things. If he would have had durable powers and everything set up, my dad wouldn't have had to petition the courts to give him power to take care of all this stuff, which, by the way, 60 days, I think, or 60 to 90 days into it, they still hadn't given him the power. So he was kind of just signing my uncle's name and stuff, I think. I don't know. Or maybe he got my aunt to sign things. I'm not sure. But it was difficult for him to help her because Tony had a heart attack, and he died before the courts even gave him the power. So get your powers of attorney together and your healthcare powers of attorney together. Healthcare powers of attorney is just telling those around you what you want done. My wife was a nurse, so I just say, if there's any questions, ask her. Only thing I want for sure is to be kept as good as the plants in the room. Feed and water me. Everything else, talk to my wife. That's because I trust her. And I also trust God in that. So if you have more you want, you could put that in there. If you do all these things, it shows love for your loved ones. It helps. It's a gift to them, especially this time of year, to know that you've done these things and they're prepared if something happens. And something is going to happen on this show when we come right back.
Every day, kids all across America are coming to school with some kind of hidden pain.
I've seen kids come in who are just so confused about what's right and what's wrong, just having no idea that God loves them. And this just breaks my heart. Crossroads has the opportunity to bring the Word of God right into the public school, to reach children right where they are.
And when we see that happen, we see God changing lives.
We want to see kids not only come to Christ, but pursue a lifelong relationship with Him. And so local churches are uniquely positioned to disciple those children as they become young adults and through their lifespan.
Crossroads comes alongside a church and provides that church with a club structure, curriculum, training, and ongoing coaching for them to run these outreaches in public schools.
If you are burdened for the children of America, consider making a donation to Crossroads Kids Club. For more information, visit reachOurschools.com. That's reachOurschools.com. Some gifts fade with time, but others stay with us, shaping who we are and what we believe. This Christmas, give a gift that lasts. Give a financial issues partnership. When you give a financial issues partnership, you're providing tools and resources that help believers fulfill their highest calling, to honor and glorify God with everything they have, including their investments. Share the joy of faithful stewardship this Christmas by going to financialissues.org/gift.
Preborn is making motherhood possible for thousands of moms across America.
I found out that I was pregnant. My family, they were like, no, you're not having this baby. I met Miss Linda. She offered to get me an ultrasound. That's where I very first heard the heartbeat. It was really a great thing that I was led to the choice to keep him.
To find out how you can support the life-saving mission of Preborn, go to preborn.com/FISM.
Folks, give us a call, 610-363-1110. If you got questions about what Mark just talked about, we'd love to hear from you. By the way, if you call in, Elijah, faithful Elijah, is covering the phones today for Darlene. So if you want to talk to Elijah and wish him a Merry Christmas, today's a great day to call in and do that. 610-363-1110. Absolutely.
And also, if they don't call in now, it's like, 72 hours
yeah, it's a
before
long
you
time.
could
And
call
listen,
in?
folks, time's running out on 2025. We will be live on Monday and Tuesday of next week, but you've only got 2.5 shows left to call in before we're off for, the next, about week and a half or so before we're back again live on January 5th. So you got to call in right now or Monday and Tuesday, but do it right now. Like Mark just said, don't wait the whole weekend. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 610-363-1110. Mark, thanks for sharing that insight. I'm so grateful that you said that. It's such simple stuff, but such an act of love also. One of the things that I've come across too, Mark, and this past year was really the year that Megan and I got a lot of that stuff in order. Feels great to have the will all set up.
Good to hear that.
Feels
Seth.
great to have, I have, people that we trust who will take care of our children if something were to happen to me and, Megan as well. It's a great thing. One of the things that helped me a lot with this too is just comb through everything with a fine-tooth comb, even down to the point of I've told my brother, who is the one who will care for our kids if something were to happen to us, where everything is. He knows where the will is. He has a key to the house. That sort of thing, so they can get there. They can get that stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
So
yeah.
Absolutely. Good stuff to be thinking through there. Mark, here's a question we got from yesterday. Interesting question. ISSC, which is currently on our buy list, jumped get this, at various points yesterday, it was up 45% after its earnings call, and it finished the day up almost 31%. What happened, Mark? I saw that. I was like, that is insane.
Well, I think you meant ISSC.
Did I say ISCC? ISSC. Sorry about that.
Am I correct? Okay,
you are
good.
correct. ISSC.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, good.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
See, that's why you're here, Mark, is you fix my mistakes.
Okay. Well, it was an interesting day. First of all, they had the report come out, and they just did incredibly well across the board. So much so that really it wasn't so much just a jump, it was a repricing of the stock. I believe that as we've seen the last couple of days, it's hovering up there pretty well. It's not just pulling back like it happened. So earnings weren't just good, they were great, and they were solid, and the projections are solid going forward. They've taken over some things from Honeywell with the F-16. So effectively, they're working on aviation products for the F-16 and building those. Their product line and their pipeline for orders are backed up. I mean, there's so much about this is positive. It's great to have a lot of sales, but if you can't turn those into earnings, it's no good. But their earnings skyrocketed as well. They were stronger than expected. Margins improved. I mean, 25 to 30% margin on profit margins. I mean, this is all good stuff. So much so that people woke up to ISSC as wait a minute, this company has been undervalued for a long time. So it took a leap up, and it was a decent one. But I'm going to tell you, I still think there's room for growth with this company with all the way the projections are. Its PE is still less than the industry standard. A lot of its metrics are still valued lower than the industry standards. So to me, that gives it a little bit of upside still, which I think a lot of our listeners who own ISSC will be happy to hear.
Well, market spiked at $19 back in August. Right now it's around $14, so there is room to grow.
Well, past performance,
That's true.
So, but I think it's a good thing. And I love the idea that a company is getting recognized for what they're doing, how they're doing it, especially when they're managing it well. I just love good management on a company. Their debt, everything seems to be in place. As one of those companies that it's still a long-term buy for us. It's not only on the hold list for the long term, but it's a company that looks like it's made of steel right now. I may have missed something, but I'm going to continue to look at it. It is I believe it's on the financial issues stocks that we believe are worth buying and holding. So that's what happened. They just came out with all sorts of great information, and people woke up to it. More analysts are starting to follow it, which gives it more exposure. It looks good.
Yeah, awesome. 610-363-1110. Mark, we got some calls in the queue. Let's get to the phone, shall we?
Let's go there. Yeah.
Nathan
what do we have?
is calling from the deep south. He's calling from Mississippi.
Nathan from Mississippi. Merry Christmas. What's on your mind today?
Well, Merry Christmas to y'all, too. First off, it's cool being able to talk to y'all. And
Likewise, brother.
I see a void in the chat, and so, whoa. But I see a void in the can I hear y'all?
Yeah.
Nathan, we got you. Yep.
Okay, for a second it went weird. But the chat does not I'm going to see if I can say something real quick. Gold. See if she'll pop in there.
Gold.
But I just had to say the magic word for one particular chat. Yeah,
you're trolling.
This morning, so, yep. So I'm trying
you mean
to
you call?
But no, my question though, we've had this before. We've talked in the chat about it. The Timothy plans, some of the funds, when you're dealing with a small dollar amount, you can't add that to your allocation model because there's a minimum of $2,500.
You're on Fidelity, right?
Yes, and I have a basic investment account, not an IRA. And when me and Claude were kind of bouncing back and forth, hey Claude, but I think if you have an IRA account, you can do it. You can just ignore it, go on, and you can order a smaller amount. Mine, I can't because it's a plain, just regular old investment account or stock trading account, basically. Is there any way to get an allocation model for somebody who's beginning starting off with small dollar amounts, we started back with like $500. So ours is, it started off small. It's been building. We just added to it. Things are growing. And so for beginners out there that don't have the ability to invest in that, is there an allocation model that could be developed for something like that?
For small amounts, really small amounts, Timothy Plain has already done that for you. We don't have to create that kind of account. They actually have their own asset allocation models where you could go into these accounts, and they're called funds of funds, and they actually allow you to have several other funds in the same funds. Let me look that up real quick here for you. And that is exactly what they're for. They have a strategic growth and a conservative growth fund, and those are fund of funds. So if you conservative and you got $500 and you want to allocate it across multiple funds, you'd go into the conservative growth. If you're more aggressive, you could go into the strategic growth, and it'll lean more towards those stocks that are a little more aggressive and whatnot. But let's take a look at the conservative growth real quick here, just to give you an idea. The conservative growth fund, I'm out on the Timothy Plan website right now looking at this as I'm talking to you. So I'm going to pull up the fact sheet here, and everybody can do this. The reason I'm doing this is because I want you all to know that if you go out to Timothy Plan, it's real easy. There's a menu across the top. So the conservative growth fund, it has 34% in fixed income in their funds for that, and 8% in high yield bond, and then it goes into all the different mutual funds that it uses in there. So it's a fund to fund where you can do that with one ticker, TCG. AX, if you're buying A shares, if you're buying I shares, it's TIICX. So you could go into the mutual fund, and for a small amount, that gives you all the diversification of having a larger portfolio by it invests in its own funds and does the asset allocation for you. So you have aggressive and you have conservative. I hope that helps.
Mark,
Did that help you?
Could I add something for you there, Nathan?
Sure.
Just because, Nathan, I'm in a very similar situation that you're in, not for myself personally, but investing for my children. They have under $1,000 each that they're able to invest. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to buy some of the Timothy ETFs as well. And so those might be options for you there. They're pretty affordable right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did, ETFs, when I started out.
Yeah. Yep. This is more of an asset allocation, though. ETFs aren't, they're more of an index type of fund. So the portfolio allocation, like on the conservative growth, it actually has ETFs in it too. So you have the fixed income fund, you have the high yield fund, you have the international fund, you have the small caps fund, you have the large mid cap fund, you have the high dividend stock fund, market international. You have them all in there, including some of those are ETFs. So effectively, for a small amount, you can get an asset allocation that is very similar to the financial issues asset allocation that we have for you for larger amounts where you go and invest in the individual things. Okay. I hope that helped. I think it's a great way to go to get started. And then as time goes on, just like I believe funds are useful and ETFs are very useful no matter what stage or what amounts you have, they can be very useful for broad brushing. But as you go on, once you get up to like $25,000 or $50,000, you could expand that into picking and choosing and overweighting where you want to in the different funds instead of being in the actively managed BRI conservative growth or aggressive growth. You could start doing that more for yourself. And then when you get up to $100,000, $200,000, you can start picking the individual stocks and moving into the financial issues, individual stock allocations. And by the way, we still utilize some ETFs and stuff in those as well.
All right.
All righty.
That should be helpful.
Well, good. And here's another thing. The Fidelity thing, I spoke with Fidelity, and their issue is all over the board, and I couldn't get clear answers from them why they're charging for these funds instead of some other funds and this and that. Are they anti-BRI? I wasn't aggressive like that, but pretty much said, well, these are biblically responsible. Does that have anything to do with it? Oh, no, of course not. Well, I did find out that you can transfer these funds into your account. So if you buy them at Timothy Plan, you can then transfer them over if you want.
And Mark, would you go directly to Timothy Plan to actually make that purchase, right? Like that's right on Timothy Plan's
you could go directly to Timothy Plan, buy them, and then transfer them trustee to trustee into your accounts at Fidelity if you want to keep everything in one place.
That's great. Nathan, thanks for the question, brother. And
Merry Christmas, Nathan.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. And
don't forget to join us next Tuesday for our on-air Christmas party.
That's going to be fun, Mark.
Yeah, I'm excited. As we come together and just celebrate Christmas for our last live day before the holiday starts. Before we start celebrating the birth of our Savior. Wish we could be here with you on the 25th, which we will be because we recorded some special things just for that.
In the last 10 to 15 years being in ministry, being married, something that has been constant in our lives is Samaritan Ministries. As we've moved, we've had babies, we've had different things come up, we have just been able to rely on Samaritan in ways that we never really even thought about before becoming members.
Our heart's desire is to plant roots and be in a place for a really long time. It's how we were raised. We see the benefits of that, but we also see the open-handedness of being used by the Lord wherever He calls, because we just assumed when we started pursuing church planting, the quickest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. And with the Lord, sometimes you find out it looks a lot more like this. And yet, Samaritan was with us through the entire thing.
We didn't have to look into, we have to change insurances now because we've moved states or whatever the case may be. And it's just been a real blessing to us in different phases of life.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Colleen.
And we're the Gen X.
And we're Samaritan members.
My baby was like this big. He was like this tiny little spectrum of hope and this unnamed beauty, in a sense. It was poetic. And I saw his heart beating on the screen. And I mean, I went from, I don't want this baby, it's just a fetus, it's just cells put together, to talking to my child on the screen and feeling really protective and knowing that there's life growing inside. I mean, that sonogram changed my life. I went from just Candace to mom. I'm a mom.
To find out how you can support the life-saving mission of Preborn, go to preborn.com/FISM.
Navigating through investment options can be challenging, especially when you're determined to uphold your God-given values. Every dollar you invest is a vote for the world that you want to live in. Let your values guide your investment decisions, and help to shape the culture in which we live. Become a beacon of light and pave the way with biblically responsible investing. Timothy Plan, where faith and finance collide. Before investing, carefully consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the investment company. This and other important information can be found in the fund's prospectus. To obtain a copy, visit timothyplan.com or call 800-846-7526. Read each prospectus carefully before investing. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Six 610-363-1110. This is my favorite Christmas bumper music we have, guys.
I think it's mine
this
too.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the jazzy Deck the Halls. Delightful. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Very Charlie Brown, right?
Certainly is. Yeah.
I love that sticking on the cymbal, on the ride cymbal.
Absolutely.
That was me.
Yeah. That was
you. Are you a drummer?
No, but that was still me.
Mark, I'm not necessarily.
We'll go with that.
I'm not a good drummer, but I'm a loud drummer. So I have that going.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. 610-363-1110. Folks, give us a call. Kurt, we saw you in the call queue, brother. Give us a call back. We'll get to you as soon as we get in. There's some lines open, though, folks, so join us. Mark, we got a great question here from Steven in Oklahoma. Steven's asking, any comments on Trump's energy policy? It seems to be determined for low energy prices. What do you think?
I think that's a great question. I'm trying to think about how to approach this, though, because there's so much to talk about. I think that the Trump policies are exactly what they should be. Low energy costs affect everything. You know, what is the new war cry for the left? Affordability, right?
Affordability. Yep.
Well, guess what? There's not anything. Name one thing that oil is not involved in. That is in your life. I mean, you know, one material thing.
Well, Mark, I was going to say like potato chips, but seed oils. So that's another type of oil.
Speaking of affordability,
well, and the cost for the furnaces and the cost for the electricity to make those. What about your clothes? There's actually almost in every, except for pure wool or pure cotton, there's some sort of fiber that they weave in to make them softer and nicer that come from oil. There's also the cost of producing those and the energy that is needed, the electricity needed to produce all those things. People don't sit there and weave by hand. Energy affects everything. And so when you talk about inflation, energy affects inflation. Energy is oil and electricity and LNG, everything is affected. So these prices, the benefits of lowering energy costs is absolutely necessary. So it for consumers, it's a relief from inflation in every aspect of your life. You could say, well, you know, my SpaghettiOs or my steak or my milk doesn't, it's not, that has nothing to do with energy. Yes, it does. Every farm, everything that is done, there's some sort of use of oil or energy in it. Those energy costs come down, even to the point of just delivery. The cost to deliver the products to the stores for you to pick up or for the stores to deliver it to you. All that is priced in those prices, and that brings down inflation. For business, it means lower input costs. It means that these companies can be more efficient in their production. They can increase their margin, which helps them to report better, which we saw with ISSC in our last segment. It means that they have a better chance of bringing down their debt instead of having to borrow to subsidize the things that are going in, hopefully hoping that they can increase their margins in the future. So it's across the board. It's a good thing. I love his energy policies. I love that he's not just saying, well, we're going to just get all solar and green, or we're just going to get away from all solar and green. He says, let's embrace it all. Let's make it all work. Let's get the energy costs down in America so our production and our lives can be a better life. So I guess to answer your question, I like it.
Simply put, right?
Simple.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the whole affordability thing, you know, Trump gave his speech the other night talking about this whole issue, and part of his major pitch of what he's doing for the economy is energy. So I do have that clip. Yeah. Let's take a look.
Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants.
Unfortunately for Seth and myself, we're still in one of those states where the prices are above $3, but it's still pretty good. By the way, last month, Trump actually announced new oil drilling off the coast of California and Florida. First time in decades that's happened. He also recently signed a resolution revoking some limits on drilling in Alaska in the National Petroleum Reserve as well.
Yeah. Well, you know, there are some balances that have to be made here. Oil prices, if they get too low, will stop drilling. I remember a research I did years ago, and I don't think it's really changed. For a driller, they have to have $50 to $65 a barrel, I believe it is, for new wells, for the cost of bringing in a new well. If per barrel isn't that, they actually lose money on drilling those wells. To lift it out of the ground once they're done, it has to be above $40 a barrel. So if we got, just let's be silly, if we got oil down to $25 a barrel, we might see it start come back up because we'd see drilling slow down or stop unless it was subsidized somehow, which I'm not for that, because it costs so much to do it. There's a dollar amount cost to do that. So we can only bring oil down so far before it's unproductive to bring more out of the ground. But with the existing wells, it costs less than drilling new wells. So as long as those are productive. And I also heard that we're at a peak right now, from a long time of how much oil we're pulling out of the ground. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was like 14 million barrels a day right now, which is awesome, I think. So that's why we're seeing gas come down. That's why we're seeing all sorts of energy costs come down. And like I said before, I like it.
Well, right now, oil prices are about $56 a barrel. So kind of right on that line, right, Mark?
Yeah, we're close. I wouldn't mind pushing it to see if we can make them more productive and efficient in their drilling. So let's go down to 50.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the phones.
Yeah. We're getting a couple calls in right now here, Mark. So we'll wait for Joe to get ready here. While we're waiting, gas prices sitting right around $2.88 a barrel nationwide. Sam, you're exactly right. Certain states like our own Pennsylvania and your home state of New York are still up above $3 a gallon.
Talking to my parents about this yesterday. Yeah. They're like, where's this energy redux that he's talking about? I said, well, unfortunately, it's happening in just about every state except for New York, Pennsylvania, and California.
No.
We really know how to pick the states.
Sam, it is happening in your state. You know what else is happening? The taxes on gasoline.
Right.
They're probably over 50% in your state. That's the issue. In the states where gasoline is high, it's not because of the cost of the gasoline, it's because of the taxes on it. That's why California is so high, why it's probably $3-4 a gallon still or higher, because they have such high regulation and they have high taxes on it, so they can bring this money in, and then some of it actually gets used for good stuff and the rest of it disappears into some account somewhere, somehow that nobody knows about.
Yeah, California right now, it's $4.32 a gallon.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Interesting stuff, guys. 610-363-1110. Mark, I think we got time to squeeze Joe from Indiana in here. Let's go to him.
Let's do that. Good morning, Joe. Merry Christmas. What's on your mind?
Good morning and Merry Christmas, Mark. I've been trying to decide how to continue to bridge the gap, trying to avoid taking Social Security until I'm 70. I am now 67, have been taking distributions to bridge that gap, but hate to take that money away from investment that it's performing so well, and thinking about using reverse mortgage. Do you have a thought on that?
Well, I have several thoughts across the board on what you're saying. Is there a reason why you don't want to take Social Security to age 70?
Well, my wife is still working. She's 14 years younger than me, and I am wanting to build up the Social Security as large as possible. She's also diabetic, and I want to make sure that she's taken care of in reference to if I predecease, that she would be able to draw from my Social Security, that sort of thing, and that's just the idea.
I see what you're saying. Let me another question. I'm sorry, just so I can answer this as well as possible in the short amount of time. Are your investments doing better than the inflation on your Social Security? The increase in every year on your Social Security payout, what your payout would be? For many people, I think it's about 8% a year. Your Social Security goes up if you don't take it. If you postpone.
Yeah, I'd say.
Are you making more than 8% a year on your investments?
I have been, not more than, but about 8% right now.
Okay, so it's pretty even. The reason I was going to ask is because a lot of times people will postpone their Social Security for two reasons. One, if they take it now, they're still in a very high tax bracket. You have two in the household working, and it'll affect your Social Security and your Medicare and that kind of stuff will be taken out of your Social Security, and they'll ding you on that. If that's not the issue, I think it's. Now that we have a conservative group in there, it's good. But your strategy may work. It sounds like it's pretty balanced. Reverse mortgage, I think that one of your assets that you have is your house, and you could tap it for that. Just remember, you risk the loss of that house when you die, because that loan has to be paid back if one or the other of you aren't in that house at some point. So your children won't inherit that. They'll have to get a loan or sell the house, one or the other. So just consider that before you move on, and have a Merry Christmas.
My name is Reagan Gardner, and I am in the 4th grade. Last year, I wanted to be like everybody else. I thought I had to act different, look different, and be different to be cool. When I joined Crossroads, I learned that God loves me just the way that I am.
Help reach more kids like Reagan with the hope of the gospel. To learn more about Crossroads Kids Club and how you can get involved, visit reachourschools.com.
In the last 10 to 15 years being in ministry, being married, something that has been constant in our lives is Samaritan Ministries. As we've moved, we've had babies, we've had different things come up, we have just been able to rely on Samaritan in ways that we never really even thought about before becoming members.
Our heart's desire is to plant roots and be in a place for a really long time. It's how we were raised. We see the benefits of that, but we also see the open-handedness of being used by the Lord wherever He calls, because we just assumed when we started pursuing church planting, the quickest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. And with the Lord, sometimes you find out it looks a lot more like this. And yet, Samaritan was with us through the entire thing.
We didn't have to look into, we have to change insurances now because we've moved states or whatever the case may be. And it's just been a real blessing to us in different phases of life.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Colleen.
And we're the Gen X.
And we're Samaritan members.
I found out I was pregnant when I was 21 years old. For me, I was scared, I was shaking. They do an ultrasound. And that's when everything changed. When I saw my baby, and when I heard her heartbeat, that was it. We've seen the hand of God ever since we stepped into the pregnancy center.
To find out how you can support the life-saving mission of Preborn, go to preborn.com/FISM.
The opinions and recommendations expressed on this program do not necessarily represent the opinions of the station or any of the program sponsors. Additionally, all products or services offered by the program sponsors may not be known by the program.
Folks, you still got time to call in, 610-363-1110. It's been a great show. Hey, just a couple reminders for you. We'll be live on Monday, December 22nd, and then Tuesday, December 23rd is our live on-air Financial Issues Christmas party. We hope you'll all join us for that. Many of you,
Seth.
you know, it's interesting, Mark, a lot of people have requested that we actually bring other staff members on camera so that people can see them. And
Yes.
I have a feeling we might be doing that. Whether our other staff members want to or not, I'm told that they're going to. So that's, no, but yeah, we'll have a
You
we'll have a real
will
fun time.
show up.
That's right. That's right.
Gonna bind them and drag
And you
them
will
onto
enjoy it.
the
Exactly.
studio.
In fact, I've even been told that we might even let these staff members host the last segment of the show, which will be fun.
That would be fun.
No,
wouldn't it?
I'm just
you
kidding.
know,
FISM staff
something else. This is a rumor I heard. We might have Christmas presents for those who call in and wish us Christmas wishes on Tuesday as well. Something about books and possibly other things.
Only if they send us cookies.
Is it a book that has Awakening in its title, Mark?
Oh,
like the
that
Wall
might
Street
be one.
Awakening? Like this one
That
right
would
here
be
for our
that would
TV
be
audience?
interesting.
Yeah.
The
Listen, folks,
foundations of investing with biblical integrity.
so, Mark, what I'm hearing is people can either give a donation to the ministry and you can get this book. Or if you don't want to give a donation and you just want to call in on Tuesday, you can do that as well. And then you can get the book for free. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's
Seth,
what
don't
I'm
fill
hearing
people's
as
heads
well,
with nonsense.
too. That's what I'm hearing too, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Amazing. We'll have some fun with that.
That'll be a lot of fun. I hope you'll all join us on Tuesday. Call in. We want it constantly lit up. Even if it's just saying Merry Christmas, God bless you. Yeah. We want to hear from you. Join our party Tuesday on air.
Absolutely. And Mark, I'll say this as one more housekeeping thing for all of you. Thank you to all of you who have donated to the ministry this past year. If you want to get those last minute donations in, just go to financialissues.org, click that donate button. You can do it through a different mean than just cash as well. If you want to give appreciated stock or anything like that, that's all there. It's between you and God, though, folks. So consider doing that. You've got time to do that as well. So, Mark, the markets yesterday had a pretty good day. They were able to rebound thanks to some strong tech earnings. We saw some softer inflation numbers as well. I know those numbers are a little bit disputed because of the government shutdown, but nonetheless, the markets took it as a positive sign. By the closing bell yesterday, the Dow Jones was up slightly, the S&P 500 up almost a full percent, and the NASDAQ up well over a full percent today. But today, Mark, a lot of experts, or so-called experts, are claiming that it's a quadruple witching day in the markets.
Yeah.
What in the world does that mean?
Well, it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but if you watch the markets on whether it's triple witching day, quadruple, or whatever, you'll see a lot of volatility, things moving back and forth and stuff. And that's because options are maturing is what it's coming to do. And when it says quadruple, it means like index options are maturing and individual stock options are maturing and futures are maturing all on the same day. So we have a lot of institutional investors that are trying to cover and leverage and just get everything in order because they have to cover their options that they own or that they sold or that they bought, so it causes a lot of turbulence in the market. But this is one of those things that a lot of people do watch, by the way, a lot of day traders and people like that take advantage of this volatility. But for a long-term investor, it's not a big deal. This is one of those, don't worry about it. It's after today, it's not a big deal. Again, for 3 weeks or 3 months or whatever time it is before we have the quadruple or triple witching days come back again. So not a big deal, really. It's just all about the options that are out there.
Very cool. 610-363-1110, folks. By the way, if you're looking for another good Christmas gift, you can gift a partnership to someone who you feel like could use it. The Financial Issues Partnership this year comes with a cool gift certificate, so you can place that under the tree and do that. Be a great thing for you to do if you want to pass along the stewardship wisdom that we offer here. Mark, here's a good question from Carl. Carl's saying, hey, Mark, there are many companies, possibly biblically responsible ones, in the Austin, Texas area, and there's so much activity here with new startup companies and some established companies. Some of them might be good investments. I'd like your opinion as to whether or not I should reach out to them to get them to honestly tell me where they donate money to, and if so, what questions might I ask them?
Oh, that's a great idea. I have no problem with you doing that. But just remember, a lot of the companies may be private and they don't have to disclose political contributions or charitable donations and stuff. It doesn't mean that they won't, because there's a lot of good people in corporations, especially entrepreneurs. And there's bad people too. But it's well worth asking. You might ask them some questions like how the company operates, what's their core business activities, what is their leadership philosophy? That'll tell them how they treat their employees and stuff like that. What about their questions like corporate giving policies? You don't have to go direct and say, are you BRI? You could say, what are your corporate giving and what things do you avoid? And how does your company define corporate responsibilities? Things like that. Ask them those kind of questions. I don't see any issue in bringing up certain things that we screen for as believers, like abortion, pornography, alcohol, tobacco, sexual immorality, anything like that. You could ask them about those things. If they're a public company, then you'll get more information, or at least they're supposed to answer it. They may have a way to answer it. Like I remember in the early days, it could take up to a year to get a response from them. But here's another way you can do it. If they're a public company, meaning they're trading on the stock exchange, you could just go out to Evaluator Services, the Check It, Clean It, I think it's called, or go out to Financial Issues and click on the Evaluator Services button and screen these companies for yourself. And they do the best job of anybody out there. They go deep into what's going on. They screen for political contribution, charitable giving, advocacy, affiliations, and any financial exposure in any way of coming alongside any organization. They get it and dig deep for that information. So I hope that helped you. I love it that you want to do this. And if you find out something we don't know, please let us know from your curiosity and your desire to honor God with everything, including your investment. Thank you for that, by the way. God bless you.
That's awesome, Carl. Thank you. Hey, Mark, let's get to this question. It's a good one from Charlotte. We got this one just recently. Charlotte is holding a couple of Timothy funds. I believe it's the Aggressive Growth Fund and then the Defensive Strategies Fund. She says, I loved these at Timothy but I had to part from these because my husband wanted all of our investments in one place, which is at Schwab. Now I can't find those two on Schwab because they're only allowing the customers to add to the Timothy Mutual Fund, and I didn't have any shares already at Schwab. What should I use to replace these two?
Well, I'm glad you're asking this question, but I wish you would have asked before you sold them if you were direct at the Timothy plan, because you could have transferred those funds directly to your Schwab accounts, and they would have accepted them at Schwab. So you may not be able to buy certain mutual funds on Schwab, but you can, a lot of them, and I've been told by Schwab and Fidelity both, that you can transfer them into your account, that they will accept them. So by moving them in, you would have been able to keep them. That would have been a strategy. Now, I know that some people are saying the same thing, that Schwab is charging extra money for the certain Timothy plan mutual funds. Fidelity's putting a minimum on some of them and things like that. But they both have said they'll accept transfers of them. So if you buy them over a Timothy plan, you want to keep them all at the same place, you can just buy them a Timothy plan and transfer them over.
That's great, Mark.
Just a thought.
One more Timothy plan question, speaking of which. And by the way, we love Timothy plan. They are the pioneers of biblically responsible investing. Mark, I know
not
you have
only
a
pioneers,
long-standing relationship.
I believe they're the leaders.
Yeah.
They will not compromise.
For sure.
Their goal is to honor God in their funds. That's what they started with, and by prospectus, they stuck to it.
Yep, amen. This question, Mark, comes from William in Mississippi. He's saying, are there any changes coming to TPLC and TPSC? That's the large cap ETF, small cap ETF. I saw something, but I can't verify.
That's interesting. Are there any changes going to this? Well, the TPLC Enhanced Large Cap and TPHD Enhanced Dividend merged into TPLC, so effectively that affected TPLC by increasing what's in it. They merged those together. So the TPLE was the Enhanced Large Cap. They've instead of continuing with the enhanced mutual funds, they've shut those down because they did not perform like they really wanted them to. I think that's my opinion on it. There may be more reason than that, but I don't think they performed for the people who were participating like they wanted to. So they moved both the TPHD Enhanced High Dividend and the TPLE Large Cap Enhanced into the TPLC. As far as the TPSC, I don't know anything that is changing there. I don't know of anything that you could say outside of maybe it's end of year, the dividends are the capital gains distributions. You'll see that happening. Rebalancing the mutual funds. The ETFs are more of an index type fund, so they rebalance twice a year. And during that time, if there's any stocks that have failed the biblically responsible screening test, they'll be moved out of those portfolios and something else will be moved in. So maybe that's what you heard. If there was something else you heard that's more specific, let us know and I'll look into it for you. I'll give Timothy Plan a call and we'll talk to them directly. But I want to talk to you directly right now. Be here next Monday and Tuesday to join us, and we'll be here to join you as we all come together to honor God, to love God, to show our respect for Him and His ways by walking in His ways and investing with biblical integrity. God bless everyone. We'll see you Monday.
If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under.
Thank you for joining us. This has been an FISM production.
My wife and I, we moved into this neighborhood. We had some experience with Crossroads Kids Club. We had served at another club. We kind of thought to ourselves, like, it would be really, really cool for us to actually bring in a club that was able to share the love of Jesus with kids directly into the school. And so we started our Crossroads at Hilltop.
Crossroads is amazing. You can learn all kinds of things about God. That He loves all of us. He died on the cross to pay for our sins. That He will help me in every way.
There is just such tremendous opportunity to reach kids in some of these areas that just aren't being reached.
Sometimes I pray every night. When I feel alone sometimes, God is right there sitting next to me. I can rely on Him no matter what happens.
Help reach kids with the hope of the gospel. Visit reachOurSchools.com.
As a member of Samaritan Ministries, your monthly share is a gift that goes directly to a real person in need. While that share takes care of the financial portion of a need, medical needs are complex and include the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects as well. While the financial gift is important, if we stop there, we miss an opportunity to minister to the whole need of our brother or sister. When you faithfully pray and send a note of encouragement and scripture along with your share, those words become a vessel of God's continued healing and blessing on the receiver. And the impact it has is immeasurable, bringing glory to God and provision and unity to His church. Glorify God with your health care. Send a note this month.
You know, giving is more than just writing a check. It's about using the resources God has blessed you with to make a lasting impact. Now, here at Financial Issues Stewardship Ministries, we're here to help you explore the power of giving beyond your income through non-cash gifts. From donor-advised funds, appreciated stocks, qualified charitable distributions, to name a few, these strategic giving options not only help ministries like ours, but can also offer significant tax benefits for you. Through prayer and thoughtful stewardship, you can give more effectively. You can impact lives, support ministries, and align your giving with God's plan for your finances. So, whether you're donating stocks, setting up a donor-advised fund, or even planning through your will, each gift plays a crucial role in advancing our mission to promote biblical stewardship. Ready to maximize your impact? Reach out to our team today.
Go to financialissues.org/non-cash gifts to learn more. That's financialissues.org/non-cash gifts.
Preborn is making motherhood possible for thousands of moms across America.
I found out that I was pregnant, and my family, they were like, no, you're not having this baby. I met Miss Linda. She told me about all the great resources, like they offer free baby clothes, they offer free classes, stuff for mom. She prayed with me. She told me to ask God to, guide me to my decision. She made it completely like my choice. She offered to get me an ultrasound, and I found out I was 6 weeks pregnant. That's where I very first heard the heartbeat of my son, and I was sold. Whatever I gotta do, whatever comes my way, I'm just gonna, have this baby. It was really a great thing that I was led to the choice to keep on.
To find out how you can support the life-saving mission of Preborn, go to preborn.com/FISM.
There are moments in life that define
If anybody's listening, thinking about joining, there's nothing like it. It's been great. I have peace of mind. I feel confident. There's just a lot of things that y'all have added to my financial peace.
Join our partnership community by visiting financialissues.org/join.